Well, again, fellow BeachBum traders, welcome to part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the week of July 4th through July 8th, where we'll look at the stocks that we're going to put on our watch list for the week of July 4th through July 8th to look to trade. So hopefully you saw part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week called How to Trade the Summer Stock Market Doldrums. If you have not already seen part 1, which has our market analysis, our thesis, our strategies for this week, and how to trade the summer stock market doldrums, we'd highly recommend that you view that as well. Just a quick reminder that the stock markets are closed Monday, July 4th, so enjoy your 4th of July, long 4th of July holiday weekend, and again, we'll prepare for the markets to open on Tuesday. Just a heads up, these long holiday weekends, when we come back Tuesday, we might see some, additional volatility just because of everything that potentially happened over the long weekend. Good morning, Walter. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Spacula. Thank you for joining us for the live stream today. Hope you all are doing well and enjoying your 4th of July holiday weekend. So we'll go ahead and jump in. So first, I wanted to talk about some of our trade updates from this past week, and we'll actually look at some of the charts briefly. Our first one is we got stopped out of, we had a long position in big lots. If you've listened to our past week game plans, we like big lots. We like the concept of discount retailers, particularly with the inventory issues with some of the other retailers, Targets, etc. We expect them to be dumping inventory to the discount retailers and big lots, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, etc. And big lots had the most attractive setup. So we were long. It rolled over, as you'll see. We got a nice small profit, about 3%, which equated to a monthly ROI of about 8%. So congratulations to all our fellow BeachBum traders that profited from that swing in big lots, and we're going to look to swing it again. So I'm just going to jump over to Webull real quick, and we can look at big lots chart. And I probably got in somewhere, back in here, wrote it up, took a profit, got stopped out. You can see it declined back down to this support line, and now we're watching it along this support line. Assuming it holds support, swings back above VWAP, we'll take another long on big lots. Again, we like this setup. It looks like it's bouncing off these support lines, and eventually we hope it'll trend back up. So that was our first trade for the week, and again, we'll have it on the watch list for the coming week to try to scalp that again. The second big one is VTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index. You've heard, and this is kind of our lead for our thumbnail for this week, is we really like scalping VTI in this bearish market. When we get these bull rallies, it pops up, we take our profits. When it rolls over and heads back down, and then we're going to look to go long again. And we'll look at the chart for VTI in a second. But you can see in this latest swing on VTI, we got a small profit, about 2%, so a monthly ROI of about 5%. So if we look at where VTI is right now, and again, we're going to play this again. This is our favorite trade, hopefully going into next week. As you can see, buy it at the bottom, swing it up. When it rolls over, we get stopped out, and now it looks like it's working its way back down. So when it comes down to this new bottom, we already have buys in place, large buys sitting in place at that new bottom. So you can see we replaced our good to cancel buy orders and sitting there at that lowest bottom. So if it dips down at any point, we'll catch those, and again, we'll swing VTI. Eventually, when the markets turn bullish again, we'll just let VTI go, and this will be our long-term investment into the markets going higher. But in the meantime, we're going to just keep scalping it. Every time, it does one of these rallies, we'll take a profit, and then we'll wait to the new bottom, scalp it again, etc. We make a lot of money. Again, we can make money in any type of market. And again, that's one of the main messages I want to convey to traders is you can make money in any market, bull, bear, flat, range bound, etc. It's just a matter of how. And in this case, scalping the VTI is potentially a very profitable way to trade until the market turns out, and then we've got a nice long-term investment. So someone was asking yesterday in the part 1 about dumping money in this Qs and in SPY. And again, I commented that we prefer BTI because it's a broader stock market index. And I promised I would show, I'm going to jump around a little bit. I promised I would show why we like BTI versus some of VOO. And I'm in our ETF comparison spreadsheet, and I'll come back to this. But the point being is that VOO, we can see the risk-reward profile here for VOO. And then if we look at the total market, we can see the risk-reward right now for the BTI is much higher than for VOO. And they're comparable from a bottom to top standpoint. And they're relatively comparable. VTI is a little bit better, again, for a support to resistance standpoint. So again, that's why my comment was we prefer VTI. We also have a video that explains in more detail why we prefer VTI versus VOO or VT, which is a total world stock market index. So we'd recommend you could see that video as well. That will explain why we prefer VTI. So I hope that all helps. So another trade from this week that was very, very nice is we had gone long on Yang, which is the short on the Chinese tech stocks. If you've been around for a while, this is one of our favorite swing scalps is shorting the Chinese tech stocks. The inverse of Yang is Yin, which you can play going the other way. We tend to prefer Yang. And you could see we had gone long, we got stopped out, got a very nice profit, about 9%, which equated to a monthly ROI of about 88%. So again, a very nice swing, and we're going to play this one again. So I'll show Yang in a second, but just a reminder, if you want to get real-time updates of our trades like this, when we go long, when we get stopped out, etc., we post those first to our Patreon, and then also in the alerts channel in our Discord. And again, our Patreons have access to these various alerts channels in our Discord. Here's our Discord, so you can see either if we get a TOS alert, those show up in that channel, and then if we make a new trade or get stopped out, we post that update in the trade alerts channel in our Discord as well. So again, if you want to get those real-time alerts, again, as soon as I can, I post those to our Patreons and in the Discord there. So let's take a quick look at Yang. Again, we're going to have this on our watch list. This is, again, one of our top trades coming into this week. You can see where it recently bottomed, so we're looking for it to come back down to that bottom or below. Wherever it bottoms and swings back up, we'll go long Yang again. And again, this is just another one we're going to just continually swing, continually scalp as it works its way down, just like we did with BTI. So we'll just buy at the new bottom, wherever that happens to be, swing it back up to where it rolls over, take our profits, and keep playing it and keep making these nice profits. So congratulations again to any of our other BeachBum traders who also profited in the latest swing on Yang. So again, going into next week, those are probably our favorite plays, Big Lots, VTI, Yang, and then we'll also look at some others. So now we'll jump over to our real-time watch list. This is everything that we're watching real time to go long on. And we'll jump over to Webull. I haven't really made many changes to the real-time watch list other than, we're putting back those that we got stopped out on, BTI, Big Lots, and Yang. So, and again, if we make intra-week changes to our watch list, we post them in a channel in our Discord and to our Patreons. Again, there's a watch list channel that our Patreon members have access to, and we'll post any changes to the watch list in that channel as well. So if you want to get intra-week changes to the watch list, please join our Patreon. So, and just another quick reminder, I'm going to jump over to Webull, to our various watch lists of Webull. Quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, you can get 6 free stocks when you open and fund an account with Webull. They started this with their 4th birthday anniversary recently. I don't know how long this will continue. This is one of their better offers. And you get 2 free fractional share stocks, each valued up to $300 when you open an account. And if you deposit any amount, even $1, you get 4 more free fractional share stocks, each valued up to $3,000. So again, Webull is our favorite trading platform. We conduct most of our trades in Webull. So if you don't already have Webull, you can at least get your 6 free stocks, even if you just cash them out, and you can take the cash and not use Webull if you don't like it. And I'm using the online browser version of Webull, which I use both the desktop and the online browser version, preferably the browser version. So we talked about big lots. Next one we've had on our watch list for a little while is Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch. You can see it's run up a little bit. We do have a due diligence video out there on, it's a little previous due diligence on Budweiser, why we like it in general. We think it's a good recession play, a good inflation-proof play. So it may run away. I'm not going to chase it, but if it happens to come down to this 51.45 area, we would go long Budweiser. Now we've got a number of uranium plays that we put on the watch list, I believe, last week. We saw uranium had come down, even though a lot of the energy was running up, and it was getting pushed down when energy got pushed down. And again, uranium's very cyclical, has nice long swings. And so as it came down, I found these 3 that looked attractive for a setup at a support or bottom. So the first one's kind of a smaller cap, smaller price, which is DNN. We've swung this many times in the past profitably. You can see I'd kind of like it at 92, but anything under $1, I probably should have taken it there at that just below $1, because on Friday these guys all bounced up. Even though I think energy bounced up a little bit on Friday. So all these guys bounced up. If they all come down a little bit, if it gets some pressure from energy, we'll start going long on several of these uranium plays. So DNN's one, UROY is another. This is a uranium royalty. You can see it bounced off its support too. Again, I probably should have taken all these when they bounced, but I couldn't tell if they were going to continue down. Then Friday they all bounced. And then UUUU is another one we like around 5. I again should have taken it lower at that bottom. We'll see what happens on Tuesday, which way energy goes, which way the uranium plays go. And again, we'll probably end up in one or more of these, whichever are the more attractive ones. Several of these guys are optionable too, so we can sell covered calls against them while we wait for uranium to cycle. So, and I'm aware that there's, political headwind in the U.S. Relative to uranium, but in terms of a tailwind with the energy issues in Europe, I think some of the European countries may reconsider using nuclear power to supplement some of their issues with oil and natural gas. So we'll see. France is big with nuclear. I think Germany pretty much banned nuclear. I could be wrong. I haven't researched that in a while. I know France has significant nuclear, and I think Germany banned theirs or diminished theirs quite a while ago, and they may rethink that. So we'll see. Looks like a potential catalyst, potential opportunity. Then we talked about VTI, Yang, and Yen. Again, Yen is the inverse of Yang, so Yen is the bull on Chinese tech, so it goes up when Yang goes down and vice versa. So that's a great day trade scalping pair if you want to be more nimble. on any given day. As you've heard me say, at 4 a.m., I look and see which way Chinese tech is going, and then you can ride whichever way the momentum's going for the day. These things, from what I've seen, they tend to trend for a couple days. You can see, if we look at yen, go up for a couple days, then it'll roll over and go down for a couple days. So it's not even necessarily a day trade. You can swing these guys for a couple days. Typically, you can see how these trends are several days, 2-3 days, and then there's a longer term trend, and it looks like tech went up, Chinese tech went up, and now it looks like it's potentially rolling over again. So now we'll jump over and we'll look at our bullpen stocks. Is the volume okay? Somebody give me a good morning, Tanvir. Thank you for joining us. Can somebody give me a thumbs up that the volume's okay? Great, thank you. So again, let's jump into our bullpen stocks. For anybody that's new to our watch list, to our trading game plans, our bullpen is a set of stocks that we don't watch real time, and we revisit at the end of the day to see if their setup is a little bit better. Are they at support, at a bottom, swinging up? So again, we just visit them at the end of the day, decide if we're going to put them in the game, add them to the real-time watch list, or if they break down, etc., we just take them off. So let's see if there's any changes. Looks like it's mostly things we had on the watch list on the bullpen from last week. Dry bulk shipping has been declining. That's another nice swing, long-term swing once those dry bulk prices turn around again. Clicks is online short brick and mortar stores ETF that we've been watching. Ford, we'll look at that. Maker Forge, I don't know what the issue with that is other than it's a tech stock. I think it might be getting pressured from just being a tech stock. I think it may have been a former SPAC, but otherwise they're profitable. It's a profitable 3D printer, but it's been breaking down. So we're just kind of waiting for it to stabilize, and then it looks attractive. Again, the 3D printers declined, so it's probably just suffering from that. I want to talk about semiconductors. A semiconductor long, I think, is a longer term opportunity, and then another uranium play, which is URNM. So we'll take a quick look at each of their charts. So again, another nice thing about Webull is you can have any number of watch lists that you want. So got a bullpen watch list. So here's BDRY, that dry bulk shipping. You can see it kind of bounced off of there. Again, probably should have taken it there. But if it comes back down to that support, that looks pretty attractive. Clicks, again, it's kind of running a little high. If we get just a little bit of a dip in the online retail, again, I'm surprised it's a little low float, so it's a little choppy. Ford's looking pretty good. If it holds this, I'd kind of like Ford a little cheaper. I think I've got a line to add down at 996. So I'd like Ford a little bit cheaper. That is a longer term support point. So it would give us a better risk reward. So a better payback for Ford. So I'd like Ford a little bit lower. And it looks like it may come down there. So again, Maker Forge, it's been, it went in this steep decline. It bounced off that pivot point, that support level. So you can see once they break down through those support levels, those tend to act as resistance. You've heard that term, I'm sure, that support becomes resistance once something breaks down through it. Similarly with moving averages. Once it breaks down below a moving average, that moving average becomes a resistance point. Above it, it is a support point. So again, all useful to know. If you see something break down, you need to wait for it to see if it's going to break through that support level, because the tendency is going to be that it's going to hit it and bounce off and continue down. So that's kind of what we're seeing. And then again, we saw this big rollover in semiconductors. You heard the bad, earnings from AMD, from Micron. Also, there's this issue with the CHIPS bill in Congress, and Intel has put their plant in Ohio on hold right now until that CHIPS bill gets passed. So semiconductors has just been, declining. Once this guy bottoms and starts to turn up, I think SOXL is a good long-term swing. Again, this is, semiconductors are a commodity and they have a cycle. They go boom to bust, top to bottom, bottom to top, etc. over a long period of time. So once this guy bottoms again, we'll play a long-term swing into semiconductors. And Tanvir, yeah, I meant Mark Forged, which is MKFG. That's the 3D printer guy. So I've got him on the bullpen, right? Yep. Mark Forged Holdings, that's the 3D printer. Again, I like them. They're profitable. They're a 3D printer. I like the technology, but they've just been declining. So it must be a sentiment, tailwinds on tech, tailwinds on 3D printing recently. And 3D printing is very cyclical also. Goes through these, sentiment changes, hype cycles, and right now it's been negative. They're all down. We own a number of 3D printers and they're down right now. We'll just wait for them to swing back up, and at some point they'll all be profitable, and we'll take our profits, because again, they have a tendency to swing back down when the sentiment shifts. So we really thought, people would catch on that 3D printing is a way to onshore manufacturing. And that may or may not be the case, but people just haven't caught on. So the sentiment's not been very positive. So treasuries, we've talked about. We're trying to watch them. They've been volatile. I checked the risk reward, and we can look at them in the spreadsheet, and I just couldn't find any of them where the risk reward was real attractive right now. So we're going to continue to watch those treasury ETFs. When we get a risk reward that looks attractive, then we'll see if that's something we want to jump into. We talked about uranium in general. This is another uranium play. You can see it's a little bit above the support level where I'd like to buy it at. So I'm just kind of waiting for that to come down. And we talked about yin and yang. So that's kind of what we've got in our bullpen right now. Now we'll look at our various ETFs. A new one that we're adding to our ETF spreadsheet. And just a sec. This is a new one. Someone mentioned in a chat somewhere. I'm sorry, I forgot who referred to it, but it's a new way to play China. May have been on CNBC. I think that was probably the case. Might have been Josh Brown or one of the guys on CNBC mentioned this as another way to play China, other than yin and yang, or K-Web. There's C-Web, K-Web, I think, are both Chinese ETFs as well. And to answer Tanvir's, I haven't looked at I haven't done due diligence specifically on those General Mills, Kraft Heinz. I would think in general it's food. Food's good. People have to buy food, so it's a consumer defensive type of stocks. The question is, how they've been doing. Have they been able to? They should have pricing power, so they should be inflation resistant. They should be able to pass on um, inflation to the consumers because again, it's food. So I would recommend doing your due diligence. Make sure their profit margins are not getting eaten up too bad. How were their last earnings, etc. But yeah, I think those are relatively inflation resistant. Recession resistant. Again, you want to think about what are people with high inflation and a recession coming. People are going to spend less on discretionary spending and more on necessities. What are necessities? Food, gas for the car. And again, with gas prices as high as they are, people have to, drive to work if they have to go to a physical location for work. So that's going to eat into their discretionary spending. So any company in those areas that has that pricing power, it's not eating into their margins, is going to be relatively good. One of the positives about Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch that we heard recently that caused us to continue to watch it is they are increasing prices. So they got beat up a little bit on their last earnings because they were not passing on the inflationary cost of their inputs to their consumer. So now they are, and so that should be a positive for Bud. So anything in those areas I think is good. But again, I'd always recommend do your due diligence and make sure that specific company is healthy. So I hope that answers your question. So again, we're talking about this ASHR as another Chinese ETF. And we'll go ahead and jump over to our ETF comparison spreadsheet, which again, now we have granted access to our Patreon members. Again, this is still very much a work in progress, very much under construction. I have a lot of work to do on it, but as an added benefit to our Patreon members, they do now have access to this comparison spreadsheet. So, and it is now using the Google Finance functions, at least in the price category and the 52-week high and low, and the risk reward for the 52-week high and low. I'm working on ways to fill in the support, automatically fill in support and resistance. Right now, I still have to update those manually, and I need a more automated way. So that's one of my task for this holiday weekend is to try to figure out a better way to automate that to make it less work. So we were talking about the China ETFs. You can see we added this ASHR to our spreadsheet. It has a reasonably good top to bottom risk reward profile, but otherwise for a year to date, 52-week high to low, it's not all that great. The support to resistance isn't all that great. So I always prefer a 2-to-1, and you'll see these highlighted in green means that the risk to reward profile is 2 or better. So that's what the highlighting indicates. So if anybody wants to look at any other categories, anybody in the chat wants to see some other categories, I'd be happy to look at those. Someone had mentioned gold not too long ago, metals, and so I kind of wanted to look at the metals, the gold ETFs that we have. So you can see we have several of them. I do want to see, I'll probably add JNUG back in here. I'm not sure why it's not in there. It's a common one. It's a junior gold miners. I just need to add it back in. So you can see the risk reward for these various long and short gold ETFs. You can see for a short to go down, there's one called Dust that has a nice risk to reward to go up. GDXU is positive. You've probably heard us. We're holding a sizable position in GLDI, more for its monthly dividends than necessarily for the swing. But as it swings, we tend to scalp it, sell it off when it peaks, and then we'll buy it back at the bottom. Another one we're watching is this GRU, which is on 4 different grains, corn, soybeans, soy meal, and wheat. Right now, it's not really at a support level where I'd like it. You can see the support level is about 509, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on that because we're seeing a breakdown in the agricultural commodities. When this guy gets down near there, as you can see, it has an attractive risk to reward profile. So we'd like to swing that as soon as those grains bottom. So again, we talked about the golds up. Also got silvers. Here's our oils, gush and drip, UCO and SCO. Silver. You can see this guy, AGQ, is got a pretty good 52-week, but it's not currently at a position where we'd like it. And we're long heavy in SLBO, which is, again, a monthly dividend-paying silver ETN. So, and we talked about BT, VTI, etc. And then here's the Treasury guys. And again, kind of keeping an eye on these. There's several downs that we watch, TMB, TTT, TYO, different time periods. A couple are 20-year, and this is the 7 to 10. And then the bulls, we've got TMF and TYD for the bull side. I wouldn't play the bull side any long term because we know the Fed's selling bonds. But as you can see, the bonds have been volatile. So on any day, you might catch a little bit of a pop. And these are some ETFs you can use to catch those pops. We've also talked some period about trading volatility. So we tend to trade UVXY to trade volatility up, SVXY to trade volatility down. We do have an unlisted video that's been released to our Patreon members that compares SVIX with SVXY and why we prefer SVXY. So you can watch for that to be published in the near future. So does anyone else have any questions about the ETFs? If you're watching the replay of this live stream, please post your comments and please post your questions in the comments below the video. You can always post them in our Discord. We have a number of channels in the Discord about different styles of trading, different asset classes. One of them is ETFs, so you can always post questions. And as I have updates to new ETFs, etc., I post them in those channels. But we talk about bonds, commodities, cryptocurrency, stocks, etc., all in our Discord. And you can find the invite to our Discord in the description box below. Also on our home page in the links section, we have all our social media links. Our homepage is beachbumtrading.com. I'll also put that up in the banner. And again, under the links, we have all our social media sites. So you can find the link to our Discord, to our YouTube channel, to all our trading platforms, all the trading tools we use, etc. So many resources easily accessible from our homepage. Again, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. So again, if you have any further questions, put them in the comments. Join us in the Discord. We can talk about it. Hit us up on social media. We're happy to try to answer things as we're able. In terms of shopping list stocks, and the concept of a shopping list is, again, when things, what are the stocks you always wanted to buy? What are good quality companies that have always been too high, too expensive, not attractive, and you wanted to buy them, and you're just waiting for the right opportunity. So that's the concept of the shopping list. And nowadays, as we've been in a bear market, some of these become attractive, right? They get beaten down severely due to the bear market, irrational reactions in their sector, etc. So if you have your shopping list ready, you can take advantage of those. And one of the things we've been talking about for some period of time is make sure that your shopping list, the stocks on your shopping list, are inflation proof and recession proof, because we have very high inflation, it's still raging, and we're headed into a recession. And so you don't want to buy a company that's not going to survive the recession, or it's going to continue to go down, and you're going to have to feel that pain as we go through the recession. So, and welcome back, Spacula. I'm glad you made it back. So, otherwise, Tanavir had asked yesterday about Twilio. So I looked at Twilio, and I've got the Finviz chart up for Twilio. And my comment yesterday was, are they profitable? Well, the net is they're not profitable. So I very quickly just, okay, they've been in decline, chart looks okay, but I see this big negative number. So they're not profitable. Then I go down to their EPS, and I see it's very negative. And we also know tech companies, software companies, communication companies, right now there's steep headwinds in those areas. They've been getting beaten up, and unprofitable companies. So pretty much, anything along those lines, until the market conditions and the economic conditions turn around for growth, technology, and software companies, I'd stay away from anything like that. That is a technology company that's unprofitable. Now, they don't have large amount of debt, which is positive, but again, they're losing a lot of money. So I'd have to do further due diligence to see how much cash they've got. They've got $29.25 per share. It's at 85, so their price to cash is not great. It's showing green, so it's not bad. But how much cash do they have? Current ratio is okay, so looks like they're not at terrible risk of solvency. But again, they're losing a lot of money, so you wouldn't expect a turnaround anytime soon, particularly going into a recession. And this would be a discretionary spend for an enterprise, etc. So, and we can talk more about that whole concept, more about the recession and what impact that's going to have on other types of companies, maybe in part one of subsequent game plans. So I don't want to drag this one out too long. So I hope that answers your question, Tanvir. Now, again, if you want to do further due diligence, see how much cash they've got, if you want to buy it for a long-term investment and hold it through the recession, just be aware that it is very likely to continue to go down, right? So, why not wait? Why not wait till we're headed out of a recession and the market conditions and the economic conditions are more conducive for growth stocks like that, and then buy it on the way up, much cheaper than suffering the pain as it continues to decline to, we don't know how low. So if anyone doesn't have any further questions, my only other request would be please vote on the poll on the community tab of our YouTube channel as to what's your preferred time for these game plan videos. 10 a.m. Eastern time seems to so far be the preferred time. Yeah, we talked about yin and yang quite a bit. I know, Specula, you like yin and yang too. I want to get yang again. We made a nice profit recently, and we're just going to, again, and at 4 a.m. or early in the morning, you can see which way the wind's blowing with the Chinese tech stocks. It's either up or down. Now, it can reverse if news comes out. Obviously, they get pushed up and down with general technology wins as well. But yeah, that's yin and yang, or particularly yang is one of my favorite swing scalps right now too, and we're making nice profits on those. So again, please go to the community tab of our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Please vote on the poll as to what time you'd prefer for these game plan live streams, and we'll try to accommodate the majority of the people as best we're able. So also, if you have any other recommendations for improvement for these game plans, how can we make them of most value to you? Please let us know in the comments below, on our Discord. We have a Facebook group as well, via our social media. Please let us know how we can make this of maximal value to help you succeed in your trading career. If you have any other questions, requests for due diligence, etc., on stocks, same thing, put it in the comments below the video. Join us in the Discord. You can find the invite to the Discord in the description box below, in the link section on our homepage, etc. So, let us know again, how may we be able to help you succeed in your trading career. Even though we're in the summer stock market doldrums, again, there's plenty of ways to make money. Hopefully this game plan gives you some ideas of how you can make money this coming week and going forward, even in the summer stock market doldrums. So again, thank you all for joining us, and have a great and happy rest of your long 4th of July holiday weekend, and we will see you all on the trading floor on Tuesday. Have a great one. Good luck, and have a great trading week. Bye.